Happy Wednesday morning to you, Crosspoint. Hope that you're well resting in Jesus, calling on his name wherever you're at work, driving, sitting at home, taking a nap. Just pause the video if you need and just get back on track if you feel your soul wandering off, and let's just get aligned with Jesus. I find that to be very helpful often during the day. We are at Martha's house right now. I'll just do a quick pan of this kitchen area here. It's actually Tuesday evening at night, and this is, as you can tell, we're suffering for Jesus. Me, Zach, and Bruce are down here, and the Davises, of course, run Martha's house as a ministry to those who are in ministry and come down here and have a retreat. But yeah, so we're down here, and we came down here this afternoon, and we'll go back tomorrow, be back probably around noon. So just want to mention a couple things to you. First, we just had a time of prayer tonight, and we just prayed over Crosspoint, prayed over our ministries, over the families. We prayed for many of you by name, and just had really a good time in the Lord, just praying for the church. But we are going to be doing a joint Good Friday service before Easter, and we have, I think, 5 churches. There's the Akron Alliance Church, Gus Brown. There's King's Way with Eric Francisco. There is Riverside with Mark Smith. There is Crosspoint, and then the Hmong Church are going to join us. And some of you may remember they led in worship in 2019. They're going to do it again. So all of the churches are coming together. Really, I love this. Those are the 5 that are coming in. I think not all the Akron area churches are coming, but those 5 for sure. So I'm pretty excited about that. We had kind of a preliminary meeting today, and we're getting some things started on that. So be watching for more details. But Akron Alliance and Crosspoint are going to be responsible for communion. Just give you a little heads up on this. So we're wanting to actually do something a little more special in communion, more details coming. But also, Lori Feist, I forgot to give her a shout out last week, but she works super hard with connecting with Copley Outreach, and she's kind of our point person for the Copley Outreach. But collecting candy for like Easter baskets or gift bags for the kids in need, the families in need. So make sure to buy some candy and drop it off in that box. I don't know. I think it's going to be there this Sunday, but at any rate, just thank you, Lori, for all that you're doing. Also, lock in teenagers, lock in April 8th, night of April 8th into the morning of the 9th. So if you've got teenagers or you know of teenagers, send them to Zach. And so, yeah. But anyway, so that's kind of what we have going on. But I wanted to read to you something, even as I was praying tonight, something that my mind went towards, and it's from the book of Ephesians. Let me read this for you, okay? This is Ephesians chapter 4. It says, "Therefore I, the prisoner for the Lord, urge you to walk worthy of the calling you have received, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, accepting one another in love." Okay, that's key. Accepting one another in love, comma, diligently keeping the unity of the Spirit with the peace that binds us. That's the word diligent. So just a couple of thoughts. It takes work, does it not, to keep unity in not only a biological family or on a sports team or in a classroom and in a church. And specifically here, Paul is calling on us to, if I'd put it in my own words, I'd say he just says, work hard at making sure you stay on the same page. So I just want to give you a couple of pointers to that end and how to kind of break that down. So number one is tie up loose ends relationally. So, sometimes you're talking and you might say something or you miss a detail and you might think, oh, it's okay, they'll understand. And I think sometimes it's very important to tie up those details and tie up loose ends so that it doesn't leave gap for confusion or mistrust. And so circling back to a person sometimes and saying, hey, you know how I said X or Y? I just want to touch base and make sure that you understand what I was trying to say, and I didn't say it quite right. And 9 times out of 10, someone will be like, no big deal. But every now and then you might hear something like, well, thank you for circling back. Thank you for touching base on that. So tie up loose ends relationally. And number 2 is communicate with care. Now, these are all connected, obviously, but I'm one of those people, I have to talk a lot. And it's scary because the more you talk, the more you open yourself up for saying dumb things. And in the abundance of words, there's a lot of foolishness. But communicate with care. So it's the responsibility of the person communicating to do their best to anticipate how what they're saying will be received. And it's work. It's easier to just blab and say things and then be on your merry way, as opposed to thinking about how things might be received, how they might be interpreted, how they might be understood. So communicate with care. So number 1, tie up loose ends relationally. It's following up with people on details that might have gotten missed. Number 2, communicate with care. Number 3, interpret what people say with grace. So there's the communication side of it, and then there's the receiving end of it. And the fact is, we're all brothers and sisters of Jesus. And Jesus, we actually know from Romans chapter 14, when there's disagreements among the Christians, and they've been around since the first century, and they're not going away until Jesus comes back. So that's just kind of the way it is, and that's fine. But Paul says, the person with whom you disagree with, just bear in mind that Jesus has accepted that guy or that gal, and that Jesus has approved of their faith, and that in the day of judgment, Jesus is going to make them stand. And so I find it very helpful to let that be a backdrop when I'm interacting with people, is that Jesus's favor is resting on this person. And so when we're hearing what people say, assume the best as long as you can. And it helps often just to interpret with a little bit of grace. Okay. Lastly, speak well of other people. Okay. Speak well of other people. I think that's a great way to keep unity in the body and to diligently keep unity, is that we are outdoing one another in good works. We speak well of one another, and we elevate others. In Philippians chapter 2, we think of their interests as more important than our own. That's actually hard, but it's very biblical to think of someone else's interests above your own. So those are just a few ways of where we can diligently keep the unity of the Spirit. Diligently keep the unity of the Spirit. And that makes for a great body life and a great culture. In Crosspoint, that's what we want. We want to be a church that is breathing and dispensing and receiving grace across the board. Sweet, healthy relationships, but relationships take work. They don't just happen. So let me bless you. Okay, send you on your way. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you, be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you, give you peace. Amen. We'll see you Sunday. Love you, Crosspoint. Bye.